Hey everybody, so I'm just going to do a quick video here. When I say quick, it won't be quick. My videos are never quick. Sorry. They are in depth though. I'll give you that, right? Okay. So today I had CoolSculpting done. I have a whole bunch of different points. Please don't close the video because you see a skinny girl sitting in front of you. I've got a history here, I've got a process, I've got measurements. I'm going to do further videos down the road to kind of give you an idea of whether this actually works. Because it's not a cheap procedure, and if you can save the money by learning from me that it's not worth it, good. If you can see that there are results from me and it's worth the money, which, you know, almost every review I've read has been positive, so I'd say it's going to be good. For the amount of money I've spent this being my first procedure. I hope so. Okay, so I'm going to give you an idea of what the process involves. So it involves, it's a couple of hours in a clinic or a hospital. This is done by a doctor. It is not an invasive procedure. You go in, you come out feeling a little more numb and a little more tingly, but you go on with your day. You are definitely a little more swollen because your body is going through a process of trauma, but it's not painful, okay? It's uncomfortable. It's not something you would want done every day, but it's not like surgery or anything like that. There's no aesthetics. There's no anesthetics involved. Sorry, it's been a long day. I'm a little foggy at this point, but they basically mark off your area, find your widest point. For me on my thighs, I'm going to talk about my thighs here. My widest point on my thighs, there were X's drawn on them in like marker. And then my doctor took a little foam pad that's the size of the little machine. And then she takes that, she works out where it's going to be best on my body. And then she draws she traces it. Oh, I'm sorry, my brain is just shot right now. I'm so tired and overworked. I was just standing there. She did all this. Then I laid on the table. She put the machine on with these little styrofoam brackets with glue on them, and they just sat on my skin to kind of hold the machine in place. So the machine goes into those brackets nice and tight, and then some Velcro straps. One goes around my thigh, one goes around my entire body. So there's two little places that gets like kind of cranked down really tight, which cuts off a little bit of blood flow, not enough to give you like purple legs or anything, but just to restrict the warmth of the blood going in and kind of nullifying the effect. But it's not painful. So this machine goes on top of a layer of this fabric sheet that's got this gel that protects your skin. That goes onto your skin, and then there's another plastic thing that goes on top of that, and then the machine. So your skin is protected, okay? Then it's very tight, and then you just lay there on the table for, usually it's an hour. Because of my fat storage, she said 2 hours would be more effective. It's more expensive, but I'd rather get an effective treatment. So I had 2 hours per side, plus the amount of time to set up the machine and get it like on your body is about 20 minutes-ish, 15-20 minutes, so account for that as well. And then there is, as soon as the machine comes off at the end of the procedure, there's a massage. So the first one is sort of like pushing like this and kind of moving stuff around under the skin. And then there's some swooshing like this, okay? So this kind of just flattens everything out. And so that's a minute each. And it definitely gets uncomfortable at that point, okay? So your skin goes numb during the procedure. Your butt gets numb because you're just sitting there and you can't really move too much. If you move, the machine shuts off. So you got to be pretty stationary for however long the procedure is. And then, so you get the massage, you clean off the gel, you do the other side, and then clean off the gel again, and then you're good to go. So there's no downtime at all, okay? I had this procedure done, it's 10, I left at 7:30. Oh yeah, so 3 hours ago almost exactly, and my legs are still chilly. They're not as chilly as I would be if I had worn jeans out on a like snowy night. So my legs have recovered. Actually, this one's a little bit cooler. It's not bad. But, so yeah, I mean, there's no pain or anything at this point. It's a little bit tender. It can, sorry, I should mention that I only used the panel, okay? There are a couple of different panels for this machine. One of them creates suction. So it sucks a roll of fat, more or less, into the machine. And that can cause bruising, and it's really uncomfortable, I've heard from a couple of the reviews. Do your own research on that, okay? Make your own decisions about whether this is good for you or not from other people, because I had a flat panel that didn't hurt. So there's the procedure, okay? That's the process. I'm going to give you my measurements. I'm going to do that here for you. So I'm usually 42 and a half inches at my widest. I'm 5'11", just to give you sort of an idea of proportions. So 42 and a half does not make me fat. I'm not fat. I'm not skinny. I am happy with my body more or less. It's just more for, I obsess a little over my thighs just because they're really wide. And it makes me, like, being tall, it's already hard to find pants that fit. It's like impossible. The pants I wore today, I have 7 pairs of them because they're comfy and they look great. Dynamite, you did an awesome job. Thank you, Dynamite, for my 7 pairs of pants. They're different colors. Don't think I'm that crazy. Anyway, so I'm usually 42 and a half inches. I measured myself 2 days ago for a photo shoot that I'm trying out for. So it's a bridal photo shoot. I'm a full-time artistic nude model, actually. Usually I do artistic nude stuff for coffee table books and mom-approved stuff. So a little bit of background on what I do. So with that job, I do take measurements fairly regularly just to kind of give, you know, like I work with corset makers and designers of different designers of different sorts. So I do have to take measurements, and I'm usually in the 40 to 42 and a half inch range, depending on like what time of year it is. It's Christmas time, and I'm swollen from this, so these measurements won't be my unswollen usual size, just so you know. A quick disclaimer, these shorts don't actually exist in real life, okay? These are my I'm at home cleaning or working out shorts. I never wear these. This is humiliating, but necessary to give you a real idea of sort of what's going on here, okay? So these are the shorts. I'm gonna roll them up nice and high so that you get an idea of what I'm talking about. So this is me with my ankles together, okay? So I'm not flexing anything, I'm not sucking in, this is just my size, okay? So you can see there's a little bit of dimpling. Ooh, some booty. There's a little bit of dimpling down here. This is not going to be affected by this procedure at all, so unfortunately that's not going to change too much. But I am going to get rid of the fat that's directly underneath this panel. So this is where the panel sat. This X is my widest point on this thigh. And same on this side. This is the side that was done most recently. So this was finished a couple of hours ago. All right, so I'm going to give you an idea of the circumference of each thigh. Now remember, this is swollen. This is not my true size for later comparison. So I'm going to put this over the X, which is the widest. So that's 25, oh sorry, excuse me, I need some water. So this, without tightening it, is 26 inches approximately, okay? And then this side was done first, so it is probably a little bit smaller than the other side. Oh yeah, already half an inch. So that's, without it being too tight, and it's right over the X. So that's just under 25 and a half inches, okay? And then at my widest, over to each X. So that's 44 inches, all right? So that's about 1.5 inches larger than I usually am because of the swelling. So there's that. All right. Now, Now that you've got the measurements, I'm going to tell you, because I'm sure you're looking at me and going, oh, wow, you're not fat. Why are you bothering with this? Okay. Like I was saying, I'm 5'11". Finding a dress that's long enough for me is already impossible, okay? Clothing is... The reason I'm a nude model is because clothing doesn't fit me. I want to model. I'm a good model. Like, I'm a really good model. And if I had to wear clothing, I would never work, because it's impossible to find stuff that's A, long enough for me, and B, large enough for me, but still shapes me nicely. So I'm a small and medium on top. Like, I'm not large, okay, on the top. I'm not large on the bottom either, but my sizing is extra large, okay? So small, medium on top, extra large on the bottom. Try finding a dress that's long enough and fits the bottom and the top. It's very difficult. So I've decided that this thing that's been driving me crazy forever needs to change. I need to lose weight. And I'm going to give you a little background on something that proves that this is not dependent upon diet or exercise. These are just fat stores that don't go anywhere. And most women have these. So I'm doing this sort of as an experiment to see whether it really works, first off. No amount of diet or exercise helps this, okay? My history with this, with my knowledge of the fact that nothing changes my body size, is that when I was in high school and in college, I was in a very long-term relationship, obviously, with this monster, okay? He was extremely abusive in pretty much every way you can think. And I lived with he and his father in a small apartment. And I was completely brainwashed into thinking I was unlovable and all the rest. So really messed up. And sorry, I'm in a weird headspace with that story. But what I'm trying to get to is I was going to college at the end of the relationship, and I was on a bus 3 hours to school, spend the day at school, 3 hours home on the buses, and then I would do homework, which was usually until, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd get up at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, go back to school. I had no time for a job, clearly, with this. So I was relying upon the savings I had from when I was a child model, saved all of the money I made there to go to college fund, and all of that went to tuition, and the little I had left over went to bus tickets to get me to school. So, okay, I was not able to purchase food, is what I'm getting to here. I relied upon my boyfriend's abusive and alcoholic father to make food for the household, and sometimes he didn't. So I was the typical friend, like seagulling, people's fries to stay alive, more or less, to function at all. So I was skin and bone at that point. Like there was no fat on my body at all. Well, not on my upper body. I still had a butt. I still had thighs. I still had everything from my belly button down was more or less pretty similar in size. I think the smallest I ever was 39. Is like, I remember measuring myself when I was tiny. I was like 31 on my chest, and then 24 around my waist, and then I was about 40. Which is huge. That's a huge change. So these are fat stores I've had my entire life. They don't go anywhere no matter what I'm eating or dieting. No creams, no creams work. Just understand that. Putting coffee grinds on your butt and then using a hairdryer to warm that up, that doesn't work, okay? From all the research I've done on the internet, which is pretty extensive at this point, that's a lot of money to spend on a procedure and not have pretty good evidence that it works. Like, pretty much everything that I've read, I haven't read anything from doctors saying it doesn't work. It's unanimous that it works. Scientifically, it was actually developed by Harvard-involved people. I don't know if they were staff or students, but developed at Harvard when they studied adults that had dimples. They wanted to know what causes this. And the thing that they found with children was that, these adults, when they were children, they asked, like, so what did you eat? And a lot of them said, well, I really enjoyed popsicles. So the popsicles, when they were sucking on it, like, that's where the dimples are, right? So they were sucking on it, and it was freezing the fat cells there and killing them, and then they don't grow back. Fat cells don't grow back. So we're all born with a certain number, I'm not sure of whether we're born with them or whatever, but as adults, we have a certain number of fat cells. They shrink and they grow, but they don't die, generally. So liposuction pulls them out, just removes them, so you don't have them anymore, right? Same thing happens with the CoolSculpting in that you don't have them anymore. They kill them. So it's like filling a Ziploc with water, throwing it in the freezer, and then imagine instead of it freezing into a block, it freezes into crystals. It would shred the bag. That's the same thing that happens with the cell membrane when the fat cell crystallizes. Shreds it, kills it, and then your body just eliminates it naturally. So that's my understanding of it. Everyone seems to say it works. So my procedure was $1,100 per side, $2,200. As I was saying, like, I'm a model, and I don't make a lot of money. Like, modeling is not, as a freelance model, I make my own money. I don't have an agent. I'm freelancing. I book my own shoots. I do everything on my own. So $2,200 is a lot of money. I've never spent $2,200 on anything in my life. I've never had that kind of money. So this is something I'm very sure is going to work, or else I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't place my faith in something and that much money in something unless I had pretty solid evidence. So we're going to follow this journey together. That's what I'm trying to say here. And see if it works. But because I usually don't have this kind of money, while I was sitting there on the table having this treatment done, of course, I decided to Google and kill some of that time. And I was like, okay, well, is there any way that I can make this more effective? Like anything I can eat or drink or whatever, or exercise to make this procedure work better? Everyone said no. It's just the procedure does what it does, and then your body just eliminates it, and there's nothing you can do to help it along. You can be healthy, and like, of course that helps you, but that doesn't help the procedure. That just helps your body be healthy. Of course, after that, I found another link that said DIY CoolSculpting, and I'm a DIYer, so I get curious. And then I go, oh my God, please tell me I didn't waste $2,200. I found several people who seem to have had really good results from doing a DIY CoolSculpt, which cost about $5. So they just got a bunch of, basically these. A bunch of these, or the plastic, like the hard plastic freezer packs. So I was like, okay, I'll have one of those. And being as I went into the CoolSculpt consultation originally for my love handles rather than my thighs, I was like, I have I have fat stores in 2 different places I'd really like to see go. I had one treated today. Why don't I see what the results are in a different area using the DIY method? Maybe it'll be similar, and maybe I'll completely debunk whether it works for me at least. So what I'm going to do with the DIY sculpt at the same time as that one tiny little area is being worked on as my body eliminates slowly, over the next 3 months. 3 months I'll see results, okay? So I go in 30 days from today for my first new pictures, and then we come back to my progress in 3 months to see sort of a final result. So that's sort of how that works. So over the next 3 months, I'm going to do this every day for an hour. I'm going to show you the process of the DIY sculpt, okay? Really simple. As I am a licensed esthetician, I do need to absolutely bang this into your head, okay? Do not do this unsafely. It will cause, it can cause horrible scarring, which is the least of your problems. If you get frostbite, it can lead to nerve damage. It's just not worth it, okay? Please be safe. Please protect your skin. Wear something. Anything on your skin is better than nothing with this, okay? So I'm going to take this, put it in the freezer, and then I'm going to put this on my side, on my fat pocket there, and I'm going to leave it there for 15 to 20 minutes every night, and then I'm going to switch it and put it on this side, and I'm going to put these on, these horrible girdle, basically, and this will just hold it tight to my body so I get really deep cooling sensation, and this should help. This is very important. You can use like a tensor bandage or Spanx. Really tight pantyhose will help. Really anything that's really tight and will hold, like hug it to your body, okay? But please wear something underneath. Be safe with your body. No longer than 20 minutes. If you're gonna go crazy, go 25, but please don't. And yeah, I'm gonna give you an update on what that looks like after a couple of weeks. So see you in the new year. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, and almost Happy New Year. All right, see you in 2015.